Here at Bristol, pit crews are already getting ready. That's Jimmy Johnson's crew, because they know some pressure-packed moments are about to occur within the next 50 laps, as we are working lap number 55. Last night's nationwide race went 56 green flag laps before our first caution, and our race leader is Jimmy Johnson. The points leader, of course, Kevin Harvick. He has moved up to 22nd from his 28th starting position. Biggest mover, Casey Mears, has picked up 10 spots. Bobby Labonte is out of the race. He's up behind the wall, as is Scott Riggs, Michael McDowell, and Mr. Bodine. And we got a car up against the wall, just scraping.
Don't look uncomfortable in here.
Then we do have caution, and here we are, right
56 laps, wasn't it, Mark?
56 laps. Hey. David Gilliland was the man who got up against the wall, and you could see the stripe.
See that rotor really glowing red on the front of that car. Makes you wonder if he didn't overcook that right front tire.
Yeah, that's exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, with that brake key.
It hit the wall hard. Probably just need to pull the fender out and stuff, but it didn't hit it hard. It just kind of a square hit.
He was running 31st at the point of this contact, 1 lap down. On board with Tony Stewart.
You see right here as he goes into the corner, that's where the tire goes soft right there.
Clear.
You can see that brake heat from that already, so you have to believe that's exactly what contributed to that tire failure.
So Jimmy Johnson leads them down as they come into this very tight pit road. Let's send it to Vince Welch.
Jamie McMurray loves his race car. He says it's really good. Let's don't mess with it at all. Let's see what the track does. I've got good forward bite. I'm getting good rotation through the corners. They're going to put 4 Goodyear tires on it, and that's it. Jamie?
And Carl Edwards was just a free overall. He said he wants to tighten it up just a bit, a half round of wedge of 4 tires, Doc.
Tony Stewart complaining the car being tight in the center but loose off, but he was getting better and better. Told Darian very slight adjustment there in the left rear. His teammate Ryan Newman said the car very, very tight. Major chassis adjustment and air pressure change. Dave.
The leader of every lap so far hits pit road, gets his car full of Sunoco fuel, slight air pressure adjustment. He said the car's rolling a little free through the center of the corner. I've never had that feeling before here, and I like it. He's going to like that pit stop too, guys.
As we see the race off pit road, the 4-tire stops, and everybody pretty much holding station, but David Ruderman picks up 2.
How about Boyer? They're gaining 12 with
2 tires. Yes, sir. Clint Boyer picks up 12 spots, and you notice McMurray overshot his pit, so that has hurt him. We'll see how it affects him when he comes back out. Obviously, this is very important for Clint Boyer, the track position. He's on that bubble position for that 12th and final spot in the chase.
Yeah, and this shows me that he and his crew chief Shane Wilson are willing to gamble a little bit to keep this track position. And sometimes, especially this early in the race, track position is worth so much because these restarts can really get exciting, and the further up you are in the lineup, the safer you'll be.
Well, we mentioned the fact that you have to be clean on your pit stops. We talked about it at the beginning of the race, and here's what happened to Jamie.
Yeah, he just slid. He locked his front tires up, slid through his pit box. Nice adjustment, though. He backed up quickly, and the crew really reacted pretty quick.
Yeah, he was trying to help his crew get a fast stop there by getting in there as quick as he could, but these pit boxes are concrete, and you just slide through them. You have to be extremely careful.
Time for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award, and currently in the lead, you'll see right there on your screen, is Jeff Gordon. You can help determine the standings. Vote from your AT&T phone by texting the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think is the fastest and most valuable. And while we got a moment, let's give you the Aaron's lucky dog as the 34, Travis Quaffle, will get back on the lead lap, and that will give us 31 cars back on the lead lap. All right, let's get an update on Jamie McMurray, Vince.
Guys, Jamie McMurray came on the radio. He said, I'm sorry about that, guys. The box seemed so much slicker than I was anticipating. It just wouldn't stop. He said, don't worry about it, though. We've got a real good car. I'm going to make up those spots for you, Marty.
All right, thank you, Vince. And I'm checking down through here. And McMurray, he came in on that stop at 6th. He comes back out in the 9th spot, so he lost some positions. Back to green flag racing. Jimmy Johnson on the high side. Here comes Tony Stewart looking to go underneath.
It's been a good chance for Tony Stewart on these fresh tires to maybe make this pass on Jimmy Johnson.
Well, he got a nice run. I believe he led that lap at the line.
Tony Stewart did lead the lap, so we've had our second leader.
Don't believe he's going to get clear, though.
Ryan Newman's got a good view of it. So does Carl Edwards. They're running 3rd and 4th. Then you got Rudeman and Montoya 5th and 6th. Boyer and Truex and Logano in the mix right behind them.
See, Jimmy Johnson was able to clear Tony Stewart there. Just have to make that happen quickly. Guy on the outside has a little bit of an advantage. See Jimmy go right back to the bottom to block Tony a little.
This might be an opportunity now for Tony to try the high side on Jimmy.
See Ryan Newman trying to make that high side work to get around Carl Edwards for 3rd.
Carl keeps it on the bottom. Rudeman trying to find a way to follow on through from the 39 of Newman.
And this is very important. Ryan Newman, you know, we talked about if Mark Martin or Clint Boyer both should have some problems, well, they have to be there to capitalize. So Ryan Newman needs to keep himself up in the top 5.
Let me update you on something I've been tracking down here. We had 2 penalties. The 9 of Casey Kane was too fast exiting, so that's bad news for him. And the 7 of Kevin Conway was too fast entering. So 2 penalties on that last round of pit stops.
We had 3 wide off turn 2 there for a second.
Won't be the last time we'll see that. Battle for 3rd on the right side of the screen, and there is on the left side. You see the 20 of Joey Logano with his teammate at Joe Gibbs Racing, Kyle Busch, Jamie McMurray in that mix as well, and Matt Kenseth in the 17.
Kyle Busch looks like he has a really good race car here tonight. He was able to work his way up in that first run. Got himself up positioned inside the top 5 now.
Kurt Busch.
Top 10, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer going side by side as well. That is for 8th on the racetrack. And now here comes Kyle to follow up on the back bumper of Brother. While we're talking about Clint Boyer, obviously he's in 8th position. You're saying, where's Mark Martin? He is currently running 16th. A little bit further back, there you see Brad Keselowski and Mark Martin. And there are the points as it would be affected right now. And you can see Mark Martin trying to pick some of those spots back up.
Yeah, I think Mark Martin might have decided, let's put 4 tires. Let's work on our race car a little bit more right now and see if we can make it better.
Dave, what are you hearing down on pit road?
DJ nailed it. They put on 4 tires and made an air and wedge adjustment for that race car because it was loose everywhere. Mark emphasized that a couple of different times during that first run.
And you can see by the pointers exactly how fast everybody is going between those 2. And don't forget about Ryan Newman in that mix. Remember, he's trying to work his way back into contention after last week's problems that he had involving he and Joey Logano. Let's go back and check the race leader. There he is, Jimmy Johnson coming in. He's about a half a second ahead of Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman, and David Rudeman, your top 5 here at Bristol.
Coverage of Major League Baseball continues on ESPN Sunday and ESPN2 Monday night. First on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern, Torrey Hunter and the Los Angeles Angels take on Joe Mauer and the Minnesota Twins. Then 2 teams in the thick of the NL races meet ESPN2 Monday Night Baseball at 10 Eastern. It's the Reds and the Giants. Both games are also available on ESPN3.com. Back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, we've had 2 leaders, Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson, though Jimmy Johnson has clearly led the way for the most of this. You say, Rusty, calm before the storm.
Yeah, I really believe that, Nicole. This is the calm before the storm in my mind right now. It's awful clean racing right now. Nobody's roughing each other up. Had a couple tire failures because of overheating, brakes, stuff like that. I did like what I saw with Clint Boyer. He advanced himself up to the 11th position by putting 2 tires on, getting some track position. I think that was really key.
Yeah, I agree with you, and you're right about the calm before the storm. As these leaders continue to pick up pace and start lapping more and more cars in this race, you're going to see the business pick up because guys don't want to get lapped. Right now, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart are so fast, they're tracking down the back of that field. Already put Kevin Conway 4 laps down within 87 laps. Guys are going to start getting nervous.
Yeah, they look like they're getting nervous. I don't know. It's a pretty good storm going on right there as we look back to find find our leader, and there he is coming up into traffic, certainly coming up there behind Elliott Sadler to put him another lap down. And we might ask Andy, but as a crew chief, probably the crew chief and the driver right now, because it's still so early in this race, are just kind of feeling out what they have. You know the track is going to change at about 200 laps. This place starts to take more rubber, gets slick, it never stays the same, and that's going to create opportunities for people to make mistakes and create opportunities for other people.
Yeah, I agree, Ray. This is that time of the race. You want to really be quizzing your driver when you get a chance. Although it is hard to talk to a driver under green here, you still want to kind of get in his head a little bit. What's your car doing now? And then you want to kind of track how it's changing. You know, which way is the car going? Is it going loose? Is it going tight? That way you can kind of make plans. But, you know, that calm before the storm, the calm is where Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart are. That storm's right ahead of them here. You can see these cars, they're going to race really hard to try to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, these guys that are getting ready to, that their spotters are telling them, okay, you might need to pick it up a little bit. The leaders are coming pretty fast. That's whenever business starts picking up, and these guys have to start really racing for these spots, knowing that each car that they can possibly pass there is going to put them in between the leader a little bit more.
Battle for 25th on the left side of your screen. Casey Kane, remember he had that penalty. He's fighting back. Jamie McMurray starting to pick up again. Remember, he also had that bad pit stop where he overshot the pit, and he is in that battle for 9th.
If you're sitting and running around 10th to 12th, 15th, you can kind of really pedal pretty easy right now because the leader's not going to go anywhere. He can't make fast lap times while he's trying to get by this traffic. As a matter of fact, they're a half a second off of where they were, Jimmy Johnson is, of what he was running before they caught these lap cars.
Remember Kyle Busch going for the trifecta after winning the truck race and last night's nationwide race. He is right now on the back bumper of Juan Pablo Montoya, and that is for 6th position. Here he goes.
Yeah, he's gained more spots since the start of the race and since the restart. 12 spots or 13 spots overall, but he's gained 8 spots since the restart. Jamie?
Well, Kyle Busch was saying the car just needed to turn better in the center. That's been the problem all weekend long. You know, he said the balance is getting better. The speed is just lacking. They made a wedge adjustment as well as an air pressure adjustment on the last stop, and of course his over-the-wall guys got him positions, and he's moving up. Dave?
Jamie Juan Pablo Montoya got passed by Kyle, and now he's getting pressure from Martin Truex Jr. That's because the changes they made for a loose race car on that first stop made it tight.
Here comes Tony Stewart into the mix again as he is closing down on race leader Jimmy Johnson. They're the only two that have led. In fact, Jimmy's led 96 laps and 1 for Tony.
Yeah, but Tony's been really committed to that really bottom side of the racetrack. He's even running lower than what we've seen Jimmy Johnson here. Tony, this is more like what we ran on the old racetrack before they redid the corners. But he's making that work pretty well. If they look in their mirror, Carl Edwards is coming pretty close to him.
2 Chevys up front. Carl Edwards with the Roush Fenway Ford in 3rd. Then another Chevy with Newman. And here we go a little bit further back, and you can see the 7 of Conway still in the middle of everybody's traffic. Trying to get around him is Elliott Sadler in the 19, going underneath the 56 of Truex. And here comes Jamie McMurray as well.
Yeah, Jamie's making this bottom side work really well, too. Been watching his car. Watched him in the first run very, very fast. Was able to make his way up. That pit stop cost him, but he's working his way back towards that top 5 again.
Should let you know Elliott Sadler 2 laps down right now in 36th position, not having the kind of run he had last night when he finished 3rd in the nationwide race. There goes Kurt Busch underneath him as well. While all that continues back up front, it is a half a second lead again. Jimmy Johnson over Tony Stewart, and now it's the last 4 Bristol races where Jimmy has led.